AnnaMaria Aisha Tiozzo. She is founder and president of World Halal Development, Halal Roma, Italy. Let me tell you something about her that is a lot, mashallah. In 1998, she founded ATS, Private Legal and Judiciary School, and she moved to Yemen for studies and research on tribal and Islamic law. In 2007, she founded, first woman in the sector, the Italian Halal Certification Center, World Halal Development, although also certifying food and feed. World Halal Development has particular, excuse me? Okay, sorry. I thought it was another span, so sorry. World Halal Development has a particular competence in the field of halal cosmetics that drove the company to be chosen by the biggest international beauty exhibition. To create a drive, the first worldwide pavilion of halal cosmetics and Muslim-friendly spa. Following this success, she has been asked to repeat the experience in the food sector for TUTTOFOOD Milan exhibition. From halal gluten-free and bio project up to the successful ITALIA BAYTI program for Muslim-friendly tourism in Italy. WHAD is involved in a number of innovative and scientific projects. AnnaMaria was honored to personally train the 12 personal chefs of the President of Italian Republic on how to cook halal for foreign delegations, as well as the cuisine of Italian Ministry of Defense, while the last halal cosmetic line she certified and consulted was awarded between the 3 most innovative products of the year from Elle magazine for conjugating halal certification and science research. Journalist and writer, she has spoken in more than 100 Islamic marketing and finance, halal certification and their impact on business and the sales. In 2015, she was elected vice president with mandate for Arab countries for Confasociation International, the Italian confederation grouping more than 280 Italian associations of professionals. From 2020, she is president of the section Food, Hospitality and Tourism with a mandate for Expo Dubai activities. Thank you very much, Sister Aisha. Please, the floor is yours. We cannot hear you. Sister Aisha, we cannot hear you.
Okay, I actually had unmuted Sister Aisha.
Please, Sister Aisha, can you? No, we cannot hear you. Sister Aisha, I ask you to unmute yourself. You are unmute, Sister Aisha, but we cannot hear you. Maybe if you leave the Zoom and come again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry, but can you hear me now?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Great. Sorry, but there was a screen saying that the organizer didn't allow me to enter. And so it was impossible for me to activate. I was activating. Very sorry for this. Assalamu alaikum, dear sisters and brothers, obviously. And thank you for this invitation and this floor that is very inspiring for me. And thank you to Miss Fauzia for her really inspiring messages, which represent a lot my personal history that I would like to share with you, because it starts many and many years ago when I arrived to Yemen. If I can share the video. Okay, the story for me started here. Started when I was 25 years old, and I was president of a law school in Italy, preparing, graduated in law to become judge. So I moved to Yemen to study tribal law and Islamic law, and to compare the tribal, Islamic, and local law. And I was invited in this Congress, very interesting for me. And the reason why I'm sharing this, you will know immediately. And it was a Congress about women in law, in judiciary system. So there was some lawyers from Canada that was doing this conference, trying to empower local women and to convince local women they have to higher their expectation in the judiciary system, trying to convince them that they have to study and to try to change the situation of the judiciary system of Yemen. And after half an hour, they was speaking. One Yemeni woman raised her hand, and she said, "Sorry, how many women you have in Canada that are judge?" And the speaker said, "I don't know. I think I don't remember the number." And the Yemeni women answered, "You know, we have 3 times this number in Yemen. This was very shocking for me, because I understood that we took for granted that there was no women's society in Islamic countries coming from our tradition. This journey to Yemen that had to be like 2-3 months ended to be a 7-year trip for me, in which I, alhamdulillah, found not only a new job, but I found Islam. So I reverted 25 years ago in Yemen, and this was for me the beginning of the story. But the beginning of my journey in halal started here. I hope some of you can recognize themselves, because this was one of the first meetings of a halal certification center in Malaysia. I think it was 2009 or 10, and it was maybe our 3rd or 2nd Congress in the world. We was only 30 persons, and coming from every part of the world. And in this period, I was only a consultant of halal certification. And exactly in this conference, one mufti came to me and asked me, why are you a consultant in halal? So I tried to justify, because, you know, I think this is a great job for me. I think I can do very well. I think, he said, no, I'm asking you why you are only a consultant. Why you do the consultant for other certification center and you don't open your own certification center? I was very shocked by this, and I said, you know, I'm a woman. And he stopped me and said, so what? Do you think because you are a woman, you cannot have a halal certification center? And the answer is, yes, this is my perception. I think that in this world and in this job, I have no space except to be a consultant. And he was the one insisting with me and convincing me to change and to open my certification center, my own certification center. That for sure was the first one in Italy, and was the first one maybe in Europe in which one woman was the president and the founder of a halal certification center. Obviously, in Italy, we had halal before, but we cannot talk about halal certification. There was imam certifying the meat, like I think before 2003 or 2005, this was the situation everywhere, because we know that we can speak about halal certification when we have standards and procedures, when we have legislation, we have a company that wants to apply, and we have a third party that have to check. And in Italy, it was very strange to have a halal certification center, because we are only 2.4 million Muslim in Italy, and we are the center of Christianity because we have the Pope in Rome. So it was very, when I came back with my family and I said, you know what, I reverted to Islam, and I decided not to be a lawyer and I want to open a halal certification center. Everybody looked at me like I lost my mind. And in fact, I lost my job because the university where I was teaching, they canceled my contract. 90% of my friends, they said, you lost your mind. And even some people from my family became very far from me. And for me, this was the first challenge to speak with my family and to speak with my friend that could not understand why I was turning from an exceptional career in law and in having a law school and turning into halal. So in 2007, I finally founded my Halal certification center, WHAD, World Halal Development. In the beginning, we was involved only in food. Coming from a situation in which only Imam was certifying, and the development of the halal market in Italy was in the beginning from single Muslim slaughterman to Islamic community, and then from Islamic community to halal certification center. So after our center in 2010, other certification centers was born, and we helped them to grow also. And we went to private standards or no standards to private standards. And finally, in 2012, from private standards to international standards. In the market, the development was from the meat, the raw meat to the processed meat, and from meat to the ready-to-eat dishes, from meat to cheese, sweets, and other food, from food to drinks, and from meat to fish, especially to farmed fish. But the development was especially in the communication. In the beginning, all the companies that was getting the halal certification, they did no advertising and no communication at all. They was creating other brands to communicate their halal products. And especially, they was dedicating those products to immigrants. And the development was to understand that those products were not only for export, but was also for the local community. That was not only for Muslims, but was for everybody. In the beginning, the certification was only for the internal market and especially for ethnic shops. Then the companies understood step by step that it was important for export. And finally, they came back understanding that the major market for their halal products was Europe itself. We saw obviously a development in our center too. In the beginning, the only standards was Malaysian and Indonesian standards, and we arrived finally to the OIC standards, GSO, and the importance of those standards was to be based on 17065 when we talk about the certification center. That's how we arrived to be a very complex certification center in which there are three main departments: the technical departments, the Sharia auditors, and the laboratory test. And obviously, the certification is given by a certification committee, but we have also two other departments. One is the Department of Research and Studies, together with universities. And the other, obviously, is the legal department, which I am in charge. And what's the role of the legal department? To control how the certificates and the logos are used in the market, and how the companies are spending their certificates. For us, one of the most important thing was to give the opportunity to young Muslim local students to join our center and to have a career. When I think about women, Muslim women in Italy, I see that the first difficulties, the first challenges for them is to find a job because they are wearing the hijab or because they are declaring themselves Muslim. In our center, finally, to be Muslim and to wear the hijab is a plus. And we are very proud of this, to give the opportunity of to many and many food technologists, many pharmacists, many chemists to have a proper job in which they can demonstrate their attitudes and they can grow. For me particularly, the best satisfaction is to see our logo in the local products, in the local and international products. So I'm very happy when I can finally see our logo in Italian products. And one of the development that we had was especially in the market. So going from the ethnic shops to the hypermarkets and from retail to online, from retail to HoReCa, and from private to institution and duty-free segment. In 2011, the Presidency of Italian Republic asked us to give training and to certify the cuisine of the Presidency of Italian Republic. This, for me, was one of the bigger recognition of all my efforts in the halal. And following this experience, we was honored to be asked from the Ministry of Defense to train and certify the chef and the cuisine of the Ministry of Defense. This experience that was very, very particular because we take it for granted that at an institutional level, there is a knowledge on how to receive Muslim guests and Muslim ministries. From this experience, we started to think about a tourist project going to the private sector. And in 2013, we finally launched our project, ITALIA BAYTI, Muslim-friendly hospitality, with which we was targeting hotels, restaurants, caterings, and spa and beauty center, because our center is particularly known in the field of cosmetics. The best development of this project was when regions and the city of Rome decided to enter the project and to finance the project itself. You can understand how this was a big step for us in Italy and for the city of Rome, that is a center for Christianity, to sponsor a project in halal was really exceptional. I spent many efforts to promote the halal in the markets, and I succeeded in involve all our exhibition centers. So we had the first halal corner in a cosmetic exhibition and the first halal corner in a food exhibition. Together with TUTTOFOOD exhibition in 2017, we launched the project Halal in Italian and European hypermarkets. What was the importance of this project is to speak with the hypermarkets and explain a simple things. When you target the Muslim consumer, you just think that to insert halal products is for every Muslim that is in the market. With our project, we did finally the first real research on the market. So we was able to target around 50 kilometers from each selling point, how many Muslims live, how many families, and which history of immigration they have, because for sure, an Italian Muslim doesn't eat like a Pakistani one or like an Albanian or like a Saudi. So halal is for everyone, but we don't eat the same things. So we was able to explain to the hypermarkets which products to insert, which halal products to insert, how to insert, and when to insert, depending on the different calendar and festivity for Muslims. Halal started to go to the newspaper, and not only to local newspaper, to magazine, to L and to IP magazine, international magazine. What for sure is our main concern is to help the local community, and this is why we are sponsor as a certification center of the GMI, that is the Young Muslim of Italy Association, supporting young women and young students in their studies and in their activities. Sorry. I feel a little bit shame to share a personal history and a personal history of success in this moment in which for sure there are a lot of women and mothers that are suffering for the war but I'm sure that this history can be very inspiring for other women that felt discriminated because they was Muslim and because they was women. When I go back to my childhood, I can remember that in our class we had a last line in which there was a Muslim girl, a Muslim boy, me because my mother was German, people that had some invalidity. And when I look at nowadays, and I look to the challenges that I met and the success that I was sharing with my team, I feel very proud, and I hope that this was inspiring for some other women too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sister Aisha. Before passing to the next speaker, I would like to make some questions to you. So first, I would like to ask you to stop sharing the screen so we can see you. Okay. Sure. Wow. Thank you for your story. I met you many times before, but I had never knew about your visit, your engagement with the Yemeni people, how you you embrace Islam, and especially what you are doing for the Yas, because we know how important it is for us halal. It's not only a logo, it's not only a certification. Halal is a way of life, and to encourage young people that they can find opportunities and people with experience support them to make halal a way of life and part of their job or experience and business or whatever, but day to day being in the halal environment is inspiring. So thank you very much. So we have some questions to you to complete your amazing presentation that we would like to ask you for the audience. So the first question to you is, what inspired you to launch this the halal when you passed from what you were working about to the halal center, when you founded the halal center? You had said before in the presentation, but just to highlight.
But this came in progress, because when I was in Yemen, I understood that I wanted to revert to Islam, And I understood that to be a lawyer was not my job. So I started to get involved in Islamic finance. And I was very, very interested in Islamic finance and takaful. In fact, my first job in this was to create a software for ATM machine for calculation of zakat and redistribution to poor. So from Islamic finance, I went to Islamic marketing. I think in that period, Islamic marketing didn't exist. We was maybe three or four people in the world, or very few, by the way. And immediately when I lost my job with university, I started to teach another topic that was Islamic marketing and Islamic finance. So Halal certification came just as a one shot in the Islamic marketing. So from creation to distribution, in the middle there was the Halal certification. And in the beginning, I was not thinking that a woman could. But after, as I told before, after this inspiring dialogue with the Mufti, I really understood that I could try. And this was very important because he said to me, remember, you can be a chance to demonstrate to people like you, okay, in your culture, that Islam has nothing against women.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Aisha, what were the challenges you had to overcome in the initial stages of starting your project? You had mentioned one that was when you embraced Islam, that you say that some people, what happened with the university, and I think some relatives of yours also.
Emily, yes, some friends, and yes, and I think I want to share this. One of the thing that was disappointing me a lot. It was the opinion not only of non-Muslim but of Muslims too. So this the fact that non-Muslim was looking at me with suspicion was normal, but the fact that Muslims was looking at me with suspicion was not normal for me. So I lost my previous family, but I didn't found in the beginning a new family because I was not okay for the one and not okay for the others. And many Muslims look at me like, oh, you went to Halal certification because you needed a job, is for economic opportunity. And this was shocking for me because nobody can understand how difficult it is for somebody to change religion, and especially in a non-Muslim environment like Italy, and how many problems we have to face to follow this and to be able to have our part in the society and in the system. So for me, this was the big challenges.
Unfortunately, it's something that we have to continue working in the Muslim Ummah around the world. This is something that happened also in Argentina or any country. So we have to be more compassionate and more to practice the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is the most important thing you feel anyone needs to do to build a successful project or company in the halal industry? And let me add you on this, not anyone, the young people, because we are involved with them. So what is the more important thing you feel that they needed to build the project in halal industry?
Okay, if I think about young people, young Muslims in Italy and elsewhere, I think the most important is not to target themselves as Muslims or as Christians, but as professionals. We are professionals. We are not Muslims or Christians or Jewish. So when you offer your service to the society, you are a professional. This is the only way you can succeed. And after you demonstrate your professionalism, then you can start talking about your religion. I mean, this was for me the point. I succeeded in demonstrate that I was a professional in my job. And after this, I could finally start helping my Muslim society, my local Muslim society. So this is my advice. Be professional, study.
Thank you very much. What were the most important learning experiences you would like to share with the audience here?
Oh, I had many.
Try to choose only one.
I had many. I think once I went in Qatar, and I was afraid that my client was not accepting me as a woman, and I started talking about my professionalism. I am a Muslim, I reverted this, and I tried, I don't know why, okay, he said to me, listen, I don't mind if you are a woman, I don't mind if you are Christian, Muslim, or whatever, okay? I only want to know if you are doing professionally your services. And this is really what changed my opinion. And what I will never forget is the teaching of our Prophet Muhammad, peace on him, on what is a trusty merchant. So I always try to remind the teaching of our Prophet when it goes to how to do business. And for me, this is very inspiring every day.
Thank you. Thank you. And the last one, what advice you would give to aspiring leaders in the halal industry? You had mentioned one that was education. So what would you look good to
constant education. Constant education is the second, because education is not a state, it's something that is every day. And especially me, for myself, I could see a big change during these years. We started with, as a halal certification, like our speaker before said, okay, and we had to study so much, new standards, new implementation, training, but it was necessary because we elevated the professionalism, and each time we have a new training, or each time we go to a new company, we learn something else. So never take for granted that you reached the knowledge, because you will never. Okay, day by day, you learn more. I was maybe in 50 companies doing cheese, but each time I go to another, I learn another process, another secret, something else that I didn't look at before. And so the advice is never give up. Always try to do better.
Thank you, Sister Aisha. So now is the time
Thank you so much.